Okay. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone, as usual. It's such a pleasure having everybody. But it's such a pleasure being here again, as usual, and to do what we love doing, and to discuss Nigeria, to discuss our country, to discuss the current issues that actually are very key, are very contemporary in the polity, and we're excited to be doing it again as we usually do every Sunday, bar the odd occasion when we choose to do something else or go internal. So it's a pleasure being here again, and I want to appreciate everybody, all those who are watching, who will be watching live, and all those who might be watching this much later. Thank you for keeping the faith. Thank you for always being there. And we meet tonight. We have our Secretary General. We have PLIDE Transformational. Do you want to say hello to everyone before we just get going? Amen. By God's grace. Okay. I mean, we'll just go straight into the conversation for today, and there are quite a lot of things to sift through. One of the key things that has been very topical has been the curious case. I'll call it a very curious case of the Labour Party leadership crisis. We've had Alhaji Lamidi Apapa and Comrade Julius Abure, the substantive chairman of national chairman of the Labour Party. Of course, the issues that have happened, and during the week, of course, the appeals court, which is sitting as the presidential elections petition tribunal, actually commenced, continued with the case. The cases filed by Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and Mr. Peter Obi against the election of Senator Bola Tinubu as president-elect of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and of course all the shenanigans that happened in the courts, where there were there were quite a lot of crisis between the two contending factions of the Labour Party, and of course the removal of the cap of Alaji Apapa, and quite a lot of things that have happened. So, I mean, we'll be discussing that today, but also beyond that, we'll also be discussing another very curious case. I mean, was it this time last? Well, 2 Saturdays ago now, when the popular musician Seun Kuti, son of the late Afrobeat maestro Fela Anikulapo Kuti, and of course that other altercation with a policeman on Third Mainland Bridge, which was recorded by members of the public who happened to be in that vicinity at the time. And of course, he had that altercation with the policeman. And of course, we saw in the video slaps, maybe one slap or thereabout, or maybe, and then continuously pushed the policeman. The policeman happened to be alone and did not appear to be armed at all. And of course, subsequent videos emerged of the musician Seun Kuti bragging, talking about how many times he had actually slapped the policemen in the past and everything. And so these are some of the things we'll be discussing today, because they're really very curious. They're not things that are regular. And no matter how you look at it, they're very strange on so many fronts. And so that's what we'll be discussing today. We'll be looking at these things and having different perspectives, for the period we're gonna be live on air. So let me start, Mr. Sekjen. Let me ask you. Um, let's start with the case of Seun Kuti. What's you know there, of course we've all seen the video, but people still say, well, there were some other aspects to it that people didn't see, and some of those aspects people have said them in favor of Sheung, some they've said in favor of the policeman. And of course, we know we're told the policeman went to report at the police station when he was given 12,000 or so, and then the policeman is in coma now, like they said. Excuse me, like they said, he's in one hospital somewhere in coma. There are quite a lot of things. What is your understanding of what actually happened, and how do you say it? Like that's fine. Over to you. Okay, I think we keep losing you. We've lost you again. We can't hear you. Okay, I think he's probably having problems with his. Okay, you're back now. We can hear you now. Okay, fantastic. Go on. Yeah, go on. Who, who's that? Is it portable? Hmm, 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 hmm. Hmm. Okay. Thank you so much, PLIDE Shalafa. That was really really very deep there, very very comprehensive in covering that because the matter of Seun Kuti. I mean, one can look at it from various perspectives. The first perspective is always to say, well, at the end of the day. Police in Nigeria have been very brutal. They've been very terrible to citizens, and so well that it was just one person paying them back in their own coin. But of course, there's always that other perspective. The police, no matter what, they actually represent the law. So even if a policeman is doing something wrong on the road, it is not the place of the citizen to go to the police and start attacking. Obviously, if there's so many things because there are also knock-on effects that can actually happen. So many things can occur as a result of one action or the other that we take. Now, one other way to look at it is this. Um, People have said, oh, they've not really, that Sheun's family, in fact, someone said PTSD, that he was suffering from PTSD, his family was maltreated, things were bad, and all things. And but the point is, is also a video, like I mentioned earlier, a video actually came out wherein he made claims that it wasn't a big deal to him, that he had actually slapped policemen several times for something he was used to, and he would slap them and nothing will happen. And also you want to ask the question. Um, Many of our celebrities, they go abroad. And when people say Nigerian police are bad, yeah, many of them are really terrible, but there's so many bad police people all around the world. In the United States, in fact, I I actually think they represent some of the worst examples of policing all around the world, because they attack innocent people, they shoot them, they kill them, they many of the police people there are lawless, and in fact, you ask your question, people. I believe that if you're a motorist in the United States, for example, if you're a motorist, if you're going out, you need to be doing special prayers every day. That Father, as I'm going, let me come back safe and sound, because it's just you watch the videos of some of their killings and they're ridiculous. This is not me excusing the Nigerian police. This is just me saying that in other climes and in the United Kingdom, for example, there in recent times there have been a light on them, because quite a lot of them, quite a lot of the police people, you're hearing them. We had the case of one who raped and actually murdered a lady who was just going home at night. And there have been cases of very bad conduct by some of these policemen as well. South African police, that's another example of very terrible policing in many instances. Of course, I'm not saying all these places I'm mentioning that the police are all bad, but we're just saying majority, quite a lot of them. So, but our celebrities will go abroad and they will behave themselves. They will not attack this police. In fact, if the police were saying anything to them that they're not supposed to say to them, they will listen, they will obey, they will conduct themselves. And we had the case recently of Kiss Daniel. Where was it? Was it Malawi or one African country where he was arrested? And his producer, well, the person who took him there for the show, they went to arrest him in his own. He cooperated with them. He was detained. He did not slap them. He did, and then you mentioned it was because you mentioned the example of Portable. They went to him and he said he resisted arrest. That was very bad conduct, where he is, in fact, he even made claim. In fact, if I was a member of the APC or the new, I would be very embarrassed. He said, well, we are in government now. And we're in government now, is that liberty or license for for indecorous behavior, license for being unscrupulous, I mean, and he resisted arrest. He was very aggressive, almost to the point of violence towards it. And because the police people as well, even they will not even do things properly. I mean, if you try to arrest someone, if you're what I know in civilized in other climes is, if you're trying to arrest someone and the person is resisting arrest, you call for backup, call the operations room, call for backup. Then in that case, they will armed men with guns will come up. That's what they do in other countries. If you're resisting arrest, then they call for backup, and people with firearms, they're called, so that the importance of what is happening is actually driven home. So I want to welcome Region 2 Director Alhaji Tijani, who's joined us. So he's joined us, and I know that social director has joined as well. So these are valid questions that we're trying to ask. That, what, at the end of the day, if all these people go abroad and behave themselves, is it good enough an excuse to actually attack? In fact, I am not saying it is justifiable in any way, but you know what? If what happened was just that maybe he pushed the policeman, please mute yourself if you're not talking yet. So if it was just a case of even he held off the policeman, maybe I'm not saying that is justifiable, but I'm just saying to some extent you can even, but he actually assaulted. And you mentioned his wife coming out. I was exceedingly uncomfortable the way he was shouting at his wife, the way he was, because the wife did the right thing at that point. Maybe if he had listened at that point, this would not be where it is. But let me go back to you, PLIDE Shalafayemi, and then after that, we'll take Alhaji Tijani, we'll take Richard Jimo and Ayereti. We've got quite a few of them in the house now. So let me come back to you, Mr. Sekjen, on that same issue. Shalafayemi. Okay. I'll just leave this place. I'm doing my meeting. You told me three. Bro. Every time you say you're coming here, it's always for a few, like 2 hours. You just come late at night, and then you usually come really late. Most times. Okay, let's check out.
My tea. My tea. This is what you call a woman tea. Wait, let me go get my drink.
Your jumper. mm, mm. Thank you so much, Mr. Sengchen. No, no, I'll call you. Because I'm really keen to even hear you out. But please, let's. Oh, okay, please, Alaji Tijani, please, pardon me. I'm supposed to come to you now, please. Okay, let's just call Richard's Jimo, and then we'll go to PLIDE TJ. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Applied Richard Jimo. I'm still going to come back to you on that. And the reason I said that, of course, you know, and everyone knows, is because you on this panel tonight, you are the only one who has parentage linked with the police force. Your dad was a very uh, your constituency. Your dad was was a very senior police officer, and so you know what you're talking about when you say. And I understand, because the moment we actually understand as well that the police people are human beings as well, with families and co. I know where you're coming from, and the Secgen was actually right as well. But I love the way it's been balanced, because the Secgen was looking at it from the perspective of the citizens, and the brutality and the gross wickedness that people go through in the hands of the police. You know, I've been a victim so several times before, as you well know, for no reason. You know, well, they would say, well, maybe give their own reasons, but for me, I would say no reasons. I've been brutalized. I was brutalized by the police, as many of you on this panel are aware. So I like the way it's been balanced between the two key speakers. We have another radical person coming on, so we need to hear what he has to say. Let's go to Playdite TJ Fatai. Let's get your perspective on this. Unmute yourself, please. You're muted. Just press on mute. Fantastic. Let's hear from you. We're struggling to hear you. It's is it me alone, or can anybody else hear Playdite TJ? Oh, it's a lot better. It's slightly better now. Slightly better. Yeah. Hmm, 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 hmm. Please, can we mute ourselves if you're not talking? Please go on. Oh my God. They actually said that. Oh my God, are you serious? That a policewoman at the station said, go and get blood, stain yourself, and alleged that it was that person that brutalized you. Hmm, 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 Hmm. 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 Thank you so much. PLIDE TJ, thank you so much. In fact, your that has been very revelational, and at times when those personal experiences come to the fore, they define a lot more. And wow, those experiences, they're really deep, and I believe that PLIDE Sholafayemi and because I know Sholafayemi has been a victim of police brutality himself before, and also teach Richard Jimo being the son of an ex very senior police officer, would they would have a say to that at some point, because you've actually put it stack, and what you've said, I can say of a certainty that I have witnessed something like that before, where a police person told somebody else, said, go and get, you can even go and get a blood stain on your clothes, get blood stains on your clothes, and you'll be able to, just tell people out there, just come to the station and say that person brutally assaulted you and, injured you severely and that you're bleeding. And, these are some of the things, the sort of things that anger a lot of people. So uh, Playdite, Fire and Richards Jimo, please get ready for me on that. I'll be coming to you once I get everybody else to talk. I'll be coming to you because I need your take on how do we solve these problems, and have you witnessed such things as well? Why are these things happening? And the question of recruitment into the police force as well, because the way it is, somebody said the other day, said, you know what, it is not possible that, if somebody said, if his child, his daughter, brings home a policeman as a fiance, that he would disown the daughter. So people still have this dim view of the police, and because of that, there's this assumption that it's actually the dregs of the society. Of course, we know it's also because we've got fine educated, we've got lawyers, we've got professionals in the police, but of course, in the lower cadres, people believe that it's some of these even some of them are dangerous themselves and some other things. So, but let me get the perspectives of. I'll first of all go to Ayereti, and after that, I'll go to Adetifa, and then I go to Prida Lukman after that, and then we go back to Richard Chimo and my able section. So let's hear from you, Ayereti. Good evening. mm, 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 sorry, that was pretty quick, and I was trying to actually get some more details in the background, because there's certain developments on that case. But Ayereti, thank you so much for your very. And people have said that as well, that the issues, the Sheun's issues are more or less psychological. His father has been through so much. In fact, I saw a video, a training video during the week where fella of blessed memory was actually showing his body, evidence of police brutality, showing his bomb. He actually pulled down his pants to some extent, and there were very terrible marks here and there. And of course, he comes from a family minus the late Professor Olikoye Ransom Kuti, for one-time Minister of Health. I think everybody else in the family, because Beko was in prison so many times as well, his father's younger brother. Um, but of course, the question still remains: does it justify police brutality? Would he have done the same in the United States of America, where those who have not even said anything against the policemen would they're killed and sent to the world beyond, or would he do that in the United Kingdom as well, where there are loads of criminal-minded police officers, people, some of them are racist, some of them are very brutal in their methodologies here and there. So the question still remains, and of course, and the dehumanization of that police officer, because what we saw in the video, irrespective of what people said, we saw a police officer who actually conducted himself very commendably. Of course, people were even condemning the police officer that, well, you are an officer of the law. At that point, you've got to do something. But to me, what else would he have done? Would he have gotten a gun and attacked Sheung and all? I think the policeman, we wouldn't know what else would have happened, but within the purview, within the context of the video we saw, or the videos that were in circulation, it was you can say it's a fact that the policeman actually conducted himself very, very commendably. Because two wrongs should not lead to a right, would not lead to a right. And if the policeman had gone the same way as Sheung as well, maybe something else would have happened that day. And of course, Sheon said his family was in danger. They wanted to kill his family. And of course, and I know at the point there was a tweet, was it an Instagram status from me? And it was like, they had better not put the policeman in trouble because the policeman had come to beg him. But it turned out the police guy told him to his house. Sheon gave him 12,000 to go and repair his car. The guy took it to the station, and of course, the search of his house and all those things. These are there's several issues to talk about there. But let's quickly go to. I know some of you are having network issues, but it's been such a well attended webinar thus far, and I want to thank all of you for being part of it. Let's go to Ajibade let's go to Adetifa. Adetifa, unmute yourself, please. We can't hear you. I can see you're unmuted and we can see your video. Okay, yeah, we can hear you now. Go ahead. We can hear you now. Go ahead. Do you know what? Do you know what I would recommend? We're struggling to hear you. Okay, go on, go on. I think it's better now. Go on, go on. Yeah, go on, go on. Hmm, 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 hmm. Wow. Thank you so much, Pride Jibowen. That was very comprehensive, and thank you for it's we're very keen to stress that point that we're not against our police people. We're not against them. We're not enemies of the police. At the same time, it is right to call out the police for things they do wrong, and the fact that there's a major problem when it has turned out that the citizens there's this very deep hatred from the citizens towards the police. Something would have caused it as well, and of course our police they're not without guilt as well. Some of them have actually contributed to that state of or to the state of things. Thank you so much for stressing that very 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 clearly. Let's go to Pleda Lukman. Pleda Lukman, let's hear from you. Good evening. Good evening. Mm, 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 Uncle's burial. When you say your burial, they cannot bury a man that is still alive. I'm still alive. Eh? It's my uncle that passed away. I'm still alive. Amen. Go on. I know what you mean. Amen. Thank you so much. It's been very, thank you so much for, and thanks for saying that to me, because both yourself and Plaid Shalafayemi, none of you mentioned it to me that you were actually stopped and harassed to that degree on the way. Uh, thank God you came through it. And I mean, you said something that is very sensible. Um, and I mean, I'm very okay to share this as well. I was a very young boy. I think I was a teenager. I was coming from Festac and gone to the island, and I was passing via Marina at night. And I don't want to mention the place, but they did really terrible things to many people. Well, I can mention it, those guarding the National War College on the Marina at that time. I don't know whether the National War College is still there or just an annex. And they called me. I didn't even know I was walking, I was coming home it was like about 7:30, and in Nigeria, 7:30 to already be dark everywhere. I was just getting home quickly was just my priority. And I just, hey, you, come. I was looking around, and then I looked, it was these police people and some soldiers. And then what was my offense? They said I passed by, I didn't say hello to them. I'm telling you the honest truth. They said I didn't greet them. Number one, there was no way they were inside the compound. I was walking on the curb and on the pavement, and it was dark. I just needed to get home. It was a very lonely area. And then they proceeded to, I don't want to be saying some of the unprintable things they did that, but that night I also realized, just like what you said, that it was in the middle of the bush when they stopped you and applied that fire me, and that they could have done anything. I just realized at that point that initially, the stubbornness in a teenager, but I just, like our people will say in Nigeria, they say borrow yourself brain, So I just had to quickly, you know, check myself because I realized these people would actually kill you there. Late at night, I was the other on the other side, were maybe a car park, and beyond that was the ocean. They would just fling you into the ocean or call you an armed robber that they had stopped the night before. It is incredible, the brutal nature of some of our police of some of our security services people. Um, it's really terrible. But at the same time, we'll still go back that it is also against the law. It is not known to be normal anywhere because the moment it becomes normal to begin to attack our police officers or our security services, then I mean it would be abnormal for them to kill Boko Haram then, because Boko Haram will be right to come to the city somewhere and come and slap them, beat them up, do anything to them. It always easy to say, okay, maybe to find some justifications for someone that did it. But where do we stop? If someone had wronged someone, if Shalafa Emi had wronged me and had gotten the police involved somehow, God forbid, I'm just saying, and then the police went to Shola's house and he slaps each and every one of them one by one, both, 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 and then the neighbors come out too and slap them one by one. Where does it stop? We can say where it starts, because at that point, I always say it is unlawful to be lawful in an unlawful society. So if we start unlawfulness, then the next person can be unlawful. The person after that can be unlawful, and the unlawfulness can become aggravated and degenerate. And so, where does it really stop? So I believe we lost um, Richard's Jimo on the call, but Shola Fayemi will probably do justice to some of these things. It looks like we might not be able to touch much on the issue of the Labour Party. Maybe we'll do that next week. Next week, we're still going to have an in-house webinar, and we'll revert at the beginning of June. We're having guests. We're supposed to have guests next week, but I kind of knew that we kind of knew that there's no way we can spend 1 week on this topic, and if we have an invited guest on this kind of topic, our panelists will only be able to ask a few questions, but it's just best that people are able to discuss these things. I believe our DSG has joined us, Kenny Okunuga. Let's get your take on this matter before I go to PLIDE Shalafa. Kenny, PLIDE Kenny, unmute yourself and let's hear you. Okay, we'll just move on if he's having technical issues. Oh, okay, he's unmuted now. Let's hear you. Thanks for joining us. I know you're about, is it 4 or 5 hours ahead? So it's probably, almost 12 o'clock where you are or thereabout. But thanks for joining us anyway. So let's hear from you. Thank you. Mm, 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 mm. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you. I like I said earlier, I know it's already. I think it's actually almost 11, almost 11 p.m. where you are. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I like the way everybody covered this thing from various angles, and it is not because they're very key. They're very key issues there. The police brutality thing that is well known, and for some of our Gen Zs who keep talking about, oh, the police have just they've now become very, it's been there all along, and I've tried to. Oh, thank you so much. Joshua has joined us as well. I know I saw him coming. Joshua, let's have your take. In fact, that's one of our Gen Zs, and this is a radical Gen Z to the core. So Joshua, let's hear from you on this. Good evening. We can hear you loud and clear. We can hear you. Hmm. 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 Mhm. Thank you so much, Joshua. It's for those who are probably listening to Joshua for the first time. I always call him our future president. Is one of our. It's a is of course is one of our Gen Zs, but very radical as well. You know, and when I say radical, I'm not talking of the senseless version that many people have nowadays is one young man who is very he hates injustice, and it's always a pleasure having you join us. Thank you so much, Joshua. People like you, people like you are the future of PLIDE. You're the future leaders, you're the future owners of the organization and of our country, Nigeria, as well. Thank you so much for sharing your views and those experiences. Of course, we're not encouraging people to go and confront all these officers. And of course, when you have a senior officer of a government department saying you should have confronted one of my officers, it already shows you that there's a disconnect within the organization. There's a problem within the organization itself. And of course, LASMA, for all its good deeds, it does some unbelievable things at times that you can't really understand why they do it. And of course, I know Prida Lukman does not work for LASMA, but he works for a very related government agency. I'll be keen to hear his views on this. Why do they behave like? Why would a LASMA officer jump in front of a moving vehicle, for example? And some of these things, and especially he talked about himself. Of course, I know, with the glasses on, looking like a probably Joshua actually at times looks like a teenager, even though he's much older than that. So why do they profile people? Why would you pick on certain people? And these are some of the things that cause the serious anger. People go like, why are you picking on us because we're young? Do you see us as everybody you see is Yahoo Yahoo and all these things? But I know our Sergeant has been waiting for to actually give us a very I don't know how much time he wants to take, but just in case it's gonna be taking a long time, that might be the last comment we'll be able to take today. But don't forget that we're continuing this next week, and of course we're just going to talk about the show Kuti development matter next. Of course, there will be developments during the week. We know that the court has given them authorization to hold him for 4 days, and I think the 4 days will actually lapse tomorrow, the 22nd of May. So there will be developments in the case, and of course, the search of the house would have brought up loads of, we don't know what they found and all those things. But of course, with the gun, we know that he has a license. He has a gun license and some other things. And of course as well, the way we conduct ourselves, picking fight here and there. It was the same Sheung last year or the year before, was reported to have pulled a gun on his neighbors. The neighbors were having a party. There were cars blocking access to his house and everything, and he pulled a gun. He was People said he shot into the air. The people were begging him, and neighbors, has he made peace with those neighbors? Are those neighbors actually happy now? Are some of those neighbors even feeding the police secretly with information, depending on the relationship? These are some of the things. And I know someone, was it IRT, or someone said about examining him psychologically and all this. But of course, we don't want it to, we're not going to make it insulting to you, but people are talking about his own mental state as well. And I think Joshua mentioned it as well, the way he shouted at his wife and some other things, so, but, and I know Ayole did, Lukman mention, but let's just go to our section. Help us try to make some sense of this. Hmm. Oh my God. Hmm. 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 mm, mm. Eh, hello, hello, princess. Let me call you back in about for me about 30 1 hour. More webinar, Joe. Shubo. Thank you. Yeah, I'm okay. I'll call you back, Shubo. Share me. Thanks. Mm, 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 mm. Mm. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Segjen. That was so brilliant of you. Thank you so much for helping us to cap everything. It's really really very fantastic. I want to appreciate you. Want to appreciate everyone. It's been such a fantastic webinar. I dare say um, it might sound like a cliche, but to me, I would say this is one of the best webinars we've had in a long, long time. It's been very rich. It's been very educative, and it's actually been very enlightening. And many of us have actually shared very deep personal experiences. And so I'm just looking at the comments here. Okay, these ones are personal. Okay. Sheon Olabinton, I think I saw Sheon. I says this Plida Lukman, considering the psychology part of it, Femi was closer to the father than Sheon. He had more experience about what happened to their grandma and the father, so it's a personal thing. I'm not quite sure if she was born at the time. His grandma actually suffered that because I was in 19. That was during Obasanjo's tenure as head of state, military head of state of Nigeria. I'm not quite sure she was born then, to be honest, because but obviously he would have heard the stories. Of course, he would have seen videos of his grandma being brutalized. He would have seen everything. So you can imagine the hatred for the police, but many of us as well have suffered indignities. Some of our parents. It's just like, someone said to me once, said a bank, when he was little, that a bank came to take over their father, their home, and himself and the father had no, and some other things, you know, such a person will still go to the bank. Such a person will still have an account as an adult now. You're still going to have an account with the bank. You're still going to take a loan or credit cards or mortgage with them and all things. So you're not going to say, you know what, because a bank quote and unquote maltreated your father when you were much younger, and then the right thing to do is to start burning down banks everywhere. So I still think there's a context. So but of course, Sheung would have his own. There are psychological issues. There are things, historical issues. There are historical and problems and some other things. But I want to appreciate each and everyone who has joined us tonight. It's been a very rich webinar. I've personally enjoyed it absolutely. And at times, I've always said this thing that I felt guilty quite a lot of times when we bring in guests all the time, because our guests, we bring some of the best guests out there, best speakers out there, and they come for specific issues. Of course, uh, in fact, I can start naming them, and you would agree with me that we've brought some of the best speakers out there to be part of our programs. But at the same time, I also realize we need to create a bit more time as well for our own members to be able who are speakers in their own right, because I know some of our members go to speak at other webinars. There's that tendency at times, if you're not careful, that you begin to belittle those who are in house, and you think, well, those coming from outside are better than them. Not necessarily. We've got some fantastic, and this evening has actually been another proof. I want to thank each and every one of us. It's been very well attended. Overall, we've had loads of people in house who have been part of this. And of course, some of them had to go at some point. Someone sent me a message, they had to go to the mosque to pray. We know that all the time, and quite a few other things. I want to appreciate you. And let us say Jen as usual, even though he's done quite a lot of the talking, let him close the webinar as usual. It's the tradition, so I think we should still let him do it. So thank you, over to you. Okay, I think there's been a problem with this line. Okay, Mr. Sejen, I'll just I think there's been a problem to his line, so I want to thank each and every one of you. I want to wish you a very fantastic week. I join us same time next week, 6 o'clock. Oh, Sejen, are you back now? God bless you, everyone. Bye for now.